Kalen can if you want.
Welcome to Post Credit Depression, where we talk
She
about.
always says it off script.
What do you mean? Why can't I say it the way I want to?
You're
It's
good.
just funny.
It
It's
just
your
makes us laugh.
Pogo.
Pogo. I think a lot of people will like it and they'll remember.
It's not a
me for it.
pogo, but it is funny.
Anyways,
It's a character trait.
welcome to Post Credit Depression, where we talk about this week's current hyperfixation. So, what are we talking about?
What's your
Mariah?
name and your fun
Oh
fact?
my god.
People are getting mad at me. My name's Kinsey, and my fun fact is apparently my pogo is that I don't listen to the script and I say whatever I want.
My name's Mariah. My fun fact is that I got a new pop figure for my Peter Pan collection.
My name is Kailens, and my fun fact is if Mariah says something fast enough and confident enough, I assume she's lying.
Yeah.
You assume I'm
That's
lying if I
really-
speak with
That's
confidence?
a really
Yep, if you
good
say it like right away, like if
indicator.
I ask you a question and you're like, nope, this is what
I
it is.
second that.
And you give me these Mariah eyes, I'm like, I think she's lying because I've seen her tell her grandma a lie just like that. Very
But
fast.
what if I just am that confident in my answer and it's the
You're
truth?
not.
Sometimes I
We
am.
know.
Listen,
No, Mariah.
sometimes I just know the answer that fast.
I just saw 12:22.
It's your curse. I mean, honestly, it's like you're the funny liar friend because we laugh when you lie to other people, but then
when
it
you lie,
ensues
we're
trust
like-
issues.
I don't lie to you guys though.
That's a bold lie. I've caught you.
Mariah, you're lying right
No.
now. And they're
That is a
white
lie.
lies. They're white lies. Okay.
I would
Sometimes.
say that one of the things I do is I will speak very confidently, but if I don't know the answer, I will always end it with, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, you could be like, Mariah, how do you make the color green? And I'll be like, I'm pretty sure you mix blue and yellow, but I'm not 100% sure. That way you can't fucking crucify me
Have
for
you ever
getting it
taken
wrong.
color theory?
Mariah, you are
Huh.
a liar, and we love you still. All right. Just accept it. We know you. We love you.
I trust
Yeah.
you. Listen, I trust you in my life.
Yeah, I never
trust
said I didn't trust you.
I never lied.
It's specifically, it's a certain voice. It's like if you come back immediately and you have this confidence and there's this look in this eye, this like formidable titan wall drawn up where I can't see the truth even if I like tried, and this is all you're presenting me with, I'm like, I have to accept it whether it's a lie or not. But
Yeah,
like,
no,
I've
it's
seen her,
we
I've
can't
seen her
say
give her
anything
grandma
back.
the same face.
Whenever you do it, I'm like, well, I can't say anything back, but I know that she's lying. Like, that's all. It's like accepting your death.
I
kind
don't
of
know
thing.
if she's lying. It's just like her grandma would call and she'd be like, "Where are you at?" And she'd be like, "I'm at the library." And she'll be sitting right next to me, and like the way she says it so quick, so
No, we're
confidently,
literally like 3 hours away or something. Like,
in a pool at Kalahari.
yeah, like it's the naturalness of it, you know. Like, just it happens so quickly. It's
I've
impressive.
trained my whole life for those type of lies, guys.
It's impressive, but it's
They're not lies that hurt anybody, so that's why I don't feel uncomfortable. But like when it happens to me, she could listen. It could be 9.999 times out of 10 not a white lie, but I always will like guess it because of how good she does it.
yeah.
One time,
That's-
Caitlin asked me where I was, and I was like, I'm with my friend. And she was like, no, you're not.
You're with Caitlin. You know what's funny is I was screwing with her. I really believed her. I was so gullible, and I just kept saying it over and over again. And
I
then
was like,
finally,
I'm with my friend.
confession
And she was like,
text.
no, you're not. And I was like, yes, I am. She's like, no, you're not. You are not with your friend. I was like, fine, I'm not. I'm lying.
And I was so shocked. I was like, oh, that was an accident. I didn't mean to actually discover that.
Because it was just a white lie. But I was like, she's very persistent.
Well, I bet you were like, what if she has my location? What if she knows somehow?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what if she is actually near me and she knows? What if she has my location? What if she
I got into her head.
Yeah, it happens.
I do be watching Mariah's location though. Like I send her that what's that guy's name? The guy who's like 20 something years old and he's like really small. It's like a meme, a reel. It's kind of like the name Halil or something, but like Hashbula. That's his name. Have you guys seen him? He's like literally this baby man. He's like 20 something years old and he like is as a toddler. And it's like him eating and like he's just looking like all casual, laid back, and it's like me watching my friend's location like while, you know, just snacking. That's me with Mariah, because one time she went out with Kaylee, and I was like, "So what are you doing on the street?" You know?
No, that's like when Kaylin pulled up to your house and spoke to you through the window. And you didn't even
Yeah.
know she was there. You know, I try to hide stuff from you guys, and I feel like sometimes I can hide it, but I feel like other times I like don't cover my tracks enough. And Mariah will be like, "Hey, what's with those books on the wall?" I'll be like,
Oh my gosh,
"Oh my
Mariah was the one
fucking
who
god!
discovered that day,
Oh
not
my
me.
fucking god! Like, how'd you get that from the Snapchat?"
Listen, I
And
told Kizzy the whole rundown of Kalen's and my conversation about that day. I was
I
like,
know, and Mariah was like, try to get her to send another picture, and I was like, I kept sending snaps like, "Hey, Kinsey," like,
No, because I had already caught
yeah, and she
myself.
kept only responding with chat.
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause
which
I'm
didn't
a-
help your case. You should have went for like a ceiling shot, dude. You should have went for like a plain ceiling shot, and we would have. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
No, bro,
Yeah,
I was going full deny. Like, I'm busy right now.
basically
Can you
admitting
You
leave
should
me
have
guilt
like
on
alone?
went to
that point.
another
I
room
was
and
gonna
been
be like
like
one of those
in
gaslighting
angles.
boyfriends that are like, "Don't you love me? Like, shut up, I'm busy." Like, that's what I was gonna do.
It's so funny. Like,
Unfortunately, the Scorpio placement is always watching and suspicious of things. So
the difference between me catching Mariah in that one white lie and Mariah catching you in that white lie is Mariah instantly and actively is that smart and new. I literally was just fucking around, like being like a dum dum. Like, I didn't expect Mariah to be lying whatsoever. I completely believed her. I was just like, "You're lying. You're lying." I kept saying it over and over again for no reason. I did not had any like bad suspicions, and then when she confirmed it, I felt like a Superman. I was like,
Mariah
I
tends to have
am
like
a
the actual
genius.
evidence.
yeah, I keep the evidence in my back pocket for a later date. I'm
Kinsey
not
When
gonna.
usually
you
always
catch me,
I
at this
have.
point, whenever Mariah catches me, I just go, "Fine, like you got me. You're so smart."
I
I
bet
have
you,
faith
after
that you
listening
guys
to
are
the
not
Death
lying
Note,
to me, but the second I'm proven maybe you are, I'm like, interesting. But I won't call you out. This is what I told Kaylin. This is what I told Kaylin, not with like our friend group. I'm talking about like random people in her life, like her coworkers. I go, when you catch them, you do not confront them right away. You have to save that for a more useful time, or when you have more
this is
evidence
a
to
tool we
fully
can use
support
for
you.
later.
You have to,
See,
because if
here's
you
the thing:
call them out, for
if
instance,
some
Kelly at work, if you call her out on her
A
actions,
bleep!
she will stop immediately. You cannot do that. You need to make sure you have it all wrapped up in a
you
little
know,
bow.
our listeners probably think that Mariah's crazy right now, but
No, they
honestly,
figured that out in the Death Note
I
episode when
feel
we were talking about
so
her lying then too.
yeah. I feel so loved. I don't even care when Mariah catches me in the lie because I know she loves me. So I'm like, if anything, the
No,
fact that she puts that much attention to detail in my life is clear she loves me. And a normal person would say that maybe I have an attraction to toxicity, but I think she cares about me.
Kinsey's lying is just repressing and withdrawal of the truth. Like, she just doesn't ever say it. That, like, she doesn't really
She won't tell the
lie.
whole truth.
No, like, straight up, I'll be like, how are
Exactly.
you doing? Where are you at? And like, Sagittarius, like, just left on red. I don't get anything. Like, there's not even like a made up lie. She's just not talking to me.
I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm fine. I've been all right. And like, you guys are like, are you though? I'm like, if I had something to say, I'll say it. And you're like, no, you won't though.
3 days later, she's like, "Here's everything that has happened the past. I robbed a
Literally.
bank. I have,
I robbed a bank. I've cried 8 times. I
That's
threw up.
literally Kinsey.
That's literally so true. That's why y'all probably know what's wrong with me when I haven't spoken in a while.
How do I
I'll-
lie, Kinsey?
Badly.
Okay, so Kaylin lies very badly. And I will look at her in the eye. I'll be like, "Did you do this?" And she looks at me like I'm the
Puppy
mother
eyes.
and she's the child. And there are tears just welling up behind those
Well,
eyes.
it starts off with like this long-winded story.
Well, first, yeah, no. I'm saying like in the moment when like I'm like hammering down on her. You know what I'm saying? But like if I'm like just talking to her, she can tell that like the vibes are off. She starts over explaining herself when she sees me paying too much attention to her. And I'm like, I got her where I need her. And then I'm like, hammer, like, bam, did you
And
do
it like
this?
slowly brings the walls of confidence down in her soul. Like, you
Yeah.
see them falling one by
I feel like
one.
this is like Chinese water torture. You both are just so mean to me.
No, I'm not trying to be mean. The thing is, I know you'll tell me. Like, I know that you're basically going to turn yourself in. So I don't even feel the need to just, unless I'm really mad and it's more of like an emotional thing where I'm like reacting on my emotions, I don't feel the need to just come in and drop something in front of you. I can just come in with a presence and be like, hey, what was up yesterday, or how were you doing
I
yesterday?
sound
And
like a kid that got in trouble.
you will
Like I'm
already
trying to hide
start
my
to
weed.
be like, I took 2 cookies from the jar, Mom. I'm sorry, please. If I tell you now, is there that bad of a consequence for it? Like, it feels like you're trying to like
Or she'll
lessen.
like deny it, and then the next day she'll be like, "Okay, I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
I
confess."
was on up.
Every topic's different based off of how she really does it. And if it's a topic she's really ashamed about or feels really bad about, she'll be like, I'm gonna lie for now because I'm not ready to feel bad about this. And then the next day she'll be like, I had some time to process. I lied to you, and she'll tell
I
you
always
what.
say that too. I'm like, I lied to you.
And I'm always like, Kayla, why did you lie to me? You know. But essentially, I do the same thing just without physically saying something. B.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Cancer front and the Sag rising really don't be helping my Scorpio moon trying to fabricate.
I've had to teach Kaylin the Scorpio ways. That's the truth.
I
It
really,
really
I mean,
has.
Kaylin's
No,
Kaylin's
no, no.
like
Straight
Sag
up, when the
rising.
book on the wall thing happened, I was like, right, and she was like, listen, shut up.
She wanted to call you out right then in the moment. I said no.
Well, Kaylin has a Sag rising with her Pluto in the first house, so she really just she be letting everything out. Like she'd be like,
I know. I was like, Kaylin, we
unless
don't have enough proof. We can't accuse because she'll close up. You can't do that.
She was like, let's try to get her to slip again, which you were already on to us, but like,
the
she's
funny
like,
thing
that's just how
is
you
I
do
do
it.
the same thing that Mariah does. So when
Yeah.
Mariah catches me, I'm like, she's trying to get me to slip up right now. I gotta make sure I don't like Mariah and I are at war with one another in our heads. And sometimes I beat Mariah, sometimes she beats me. You know, like it depends on the
When do
emotion.
I win?
Kaylin, you play the long game, like the long game, where you have every receipt ever written. That's what you
Yeah,
play.
I have a good memory.
Bean, get
Yeah,
down.
you do. Oh,
Bean, Bean.
yours is more, Kaylin, like, not like catching people in lies, but you're like adding up receipts and habits. So you'll be like, there's no way that you're going to do this and this because you've never done it. You're like noticing all the patterns.
Like personally feel like
Autistic thing.
Kaylin pulls up every receipt, and she lets it sit in her mind. And when it's not that she waits strategically for the best moment, she waits for the moment where she feels disrespected enough to say the things that she has to say. And
Yeah,
I
that is
always
true.
see that Leo Mercury come the fuck out when she does that, where she's like, I've actually been wanting to say something for the last 3 months. And
Well, I
then
have different drawers for different issues I have
yes,
with different
and
topics.
then
I'll
list
pull open the
every
drawer.
problem the last 3 months that are in relation to the issue she has with me with full force. Like she's punching me with these words. I'm like, damn, I can't get up. You know.
Well, I think in
So
regards to lying too, like Mariah said, it's like I think I have my friends down to those patterns where I'm like, Mariah would never like I could trust her in my life. I was like she so like those kinds of things where I know Mariah's mannerisms and her patterns, and I know that like if I really needed to know something, almost like life or death or some very important information, she wouldn't lie about something that important. But like if it's something dumb and unimportant, like some information that I would not die over knowing the truth to, like I do think Mariah would
I
white lie.
I heard people with Scorpio fourth houses make really small white lies because they never felt like they had the privacy they needed at
I
home.
will agree that is
And
where my white
although
lies
I
come from. It's because
although
my
I laugh
family
at
never
Mariah
has.
for it, I do the exact same thing with my family. I do not tell them what I'm doing all the time because I
What were
don't
you
want
saying?
them. They're too nosy. I'm like, just what if I did want to chill, and what if I'm afraid of what you think about me just chilling?
I grew up like my family was like, I don't care what you're doing, just tell me where you're at. Just tell me where you're going. Like I remember when I was really young, my dad would like show up at the park when I say it at the park, and he'd be like, just checking to make sure you're not lying to me. And you had no reason to think I was lying, dude.
Bro, my parents.
So the fact that I grew up like that, I'm like, yeah, that's why I tell white lies all the time. Like, yeah, grandma, I'm going to the library to study so that you're not judging or perceiving me, but I'm actually going to hang out with my friends because you hate when I hang out with my friends too often.
Well, it's interesting how like we develop differently. Like I didn't grow up in any sort of suburban area. Like I grew up in the middle of the woods kind of thing. If I wanted to go anywhere, it genuinely was like having to ask for it. And so my over explaining comes from like explaining to my mom all the things that won't go wrong that she's telling me is going to go wrong. Like I'm like, "No, mom, that's not possible because I've never drank before in my life. I won't get pregnant. I don't even have a boyfriend. I just want to go sleep over at this girl's house. Like please, like that's where my over explaining comes from because if I don't plead a good enough case, I don't get to go where I want to go.
So
I
funny
basically
you
have to
guys say
beg.
that because I have mother and father issues. So when it comes to my mother, although I would lie to her like a Scorpio fourth houser would because I have a Scorpio fourth house, most of the time when I was younger, I would defend my case just like you said with your mother, where it was literally like I had to explain every single thing for her to even think to believe me. And then with my dad, I just lie to him. Like I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing this.
I had a poor mother. She didn't care what I did. I just left the house and no one asked questions. And then I just didn't come home until 9 o'clock at night.
I don't think I've ever had to lie to my dad like that. My dad, when I moved in with him, when I was turning 18, mind you, he straight up was like, "You have my trust." He's like, "Here it is." Like he basically like Virgo analogy was like, "Here's my trust." He's like, "Here are the things you get with my trust." He's like, "You get freedom, you get respect, you get allowances and stuff." He's like, "All I really want to know is if you're safe." And he's like, "Now if you disobey that trust, like do stuff you're not supposed to be doing or lie or things like that," he's like, "Trust gone, and all those nice things I was giving you gone, like those are privileges." And we've never had an issue, never. I was like, "Yeah, I'll just tell him the truth," like even if it was boy kind of stuff or dates, like I just was always honest and he was always cool with it.
Maya, what are you sharing?
This week I am ending my trilogy with High School Musical 3, which is arguably one of the best High School Musical movies.
Why didn't they have 4 for every year in high school?
Well, the first movie actually took place during their junior year.
Junior year.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
that
They
makes
did
sense
junior
actually, because the
year, and
last
they
one
did
was
the
about
summer,
summer.
and they did senior
What a
year.
bummer.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I remember when I was young, I was thinking the same thing. Like when I was young, and then when I got to high school, I said, "Oh my God, wait, that was their junior year." I don't think I like literally knew that was their junior year when I watched it as a kid, but I completely put together that they were seniors in the last one. So I was like, did they just like skip some years or something? Like, that's what I thought when I was young.
So this is Kaylin's first time ever watching High School Musical 3. My first time was whenever this came out in theaters because it was a theater release
10 years ago.
10 years ago, which is actually insane. Was it 10 years ago? I think it was a little more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's more.
Yeah, it was
Zac
more than
Efron
10
is
years
old.
ago.
Because I was like, I don't think I was that old when I watched it. I saw this in theaters with my childhood best friend, and it was a very dramatic moment for me. And the only thing I remember from this film when I first watched it, I've told you guys the story before, that my cousin told me Zac Efron died in the movie before I watched it because she watched it before me, and I waited the whole film because I was like, Zac Efron's going to die, and then when Scream happened, I thought he was gonna die, and then he didn't. And then at
Yeah,
the
'cause
end,
it's
when they were
nice.
graduating and Corbin Blue was nowhere to be seen, I was like, they killed Chad. They killed him.
Maya, oh my God.
I was convinced that someone was going to die during this film because my cousin had told me, and I was a young, naive child.
Dang, she really was wrong for that because you believed that shit.
I know. But this film makes me very emotional. Obviously, I already told Kaylin, but something about this movie just feels very magical. Like I know it's probably because it's not just a Disney film. It's probably because it was a theater release and everything. But something about the first time watching it really put me into like a whole different atmosphere. So
Yeah, I mean the quality definitely got up. Like everything was bigger, and like the musical numbers were bigger, and like
The
the
lighting was
cinematography
like
was clearer.
sparkly. I feel like the lighting the entire movie was like literally a sparkly dream
You
compared
could
to
see
like
their sweat more.
compared to the first movie felt like almost Twilight. First movie Twilight. I know it wasn't light blue, but there was like this haziness to it.
yeah, they did good. They did good. So let's see. What do you guys want me to run through the songs for the movie and everything? I'll do that. That'll be good.
Yeah, I mean it's your episode, girl. We are here to just
My thing is, I have so much to say. I just don't know how to go about it. So we'll start how it opens. It opens with "Now or Never" in the basketball scene. Lovely. I had that song play my senior year of high school when our halftime song, like when we'd come back out for halftime. Everyone on the basketball team hated it, but I was the captain, so I got to pick it. And I was like, we are coming out to 16, 16, 16 minutes left, gotta get it done. And it just made my like little kid heart so happy. I was like, yeah, every game. We're doing this
Did
every
people
game.
in the crowd ever like mention it? Were they like, "Is this High School Musical?"
I don't think so.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But everyone on the team was so annoyed by it. But by the end of the season, they're like, this is great. I'm like, yeah, I told you guys I knew what I was doing. Like, because basketball was my whole life when I was in high school. And Kaylin, what did you think of this song? Since Kaylin didn't love this movie as much as
Like
the other.
any main character moment with Troy, like even up to the fucking end where he's like, I'm not sure what school to go to. Not the end, that's more in the middle. What school to go to. It's definitely giving, like, I see why you kenned him so much growing up. Like, it's giving very much Mariah, like, I'm an athlete, but I'm also creative, but also, I gotta take this game seriously, and I gotta win, and I gotta put my head to it. Like, I feel like it's giving determined Mariah that's gotta make her 70,000 steps for the week.
It's weird because when I was watching the movie, when I watched the movie before I met Mariah, I feel like Troy because I always feel like every main character because I'm a ding dong. But when I watched this movie from Mariah just suggesting it, I feel like Chad and I feel like she is Troy.
I literally have a note that I wrote down that Troy and Chad are Kinsey and I.
Yep.
And I'm Sharpay.
Chad's like, why? She's Sharpay. Chad's like, why are you moving?
I'm
Why are
trying
you
to get
ending
with
this?
Troy, like, 2 out of 3 movies.
The scene specifically when Chad was asking Taylor out to prom, and Chad's like trying to ask, and Troy's like, I was like, this is such mean Kinsey energy. We'd be like, what do we do? I tried.
I did not like Taylor in that moment.
What'd you say?
I did not like Taylor in that moment.
She wanted the big prom ask. She had no reason. She was allowed to be upset.
I fell short.
He had
I think
flowers.
He had
Let
a
me announce-
flower. They were dating for a whole year. He should have known better. He should have known about her high expectations after a year of dating her.
Yeah, but what if that's just who he is? Then maybe they're not meant for each other.
Maybe.
I'll say that. Like, she has every right to say, I expect this. But if Chad's like, that's just not the kind of person I am. It's not even that I don't want to give you that. I'm not like I'd feel uncomfortable doing a huge prom proposal. Then they're just not it for each other. You know?
I think she just wanted him to be very more direct. Because at one point he was just like, we're going to prom, right? And she was like,
Yeah.
no one asked me to prom.
She said, as of right now, I have no date.
It's okay. And then we go. So obviously that iconic scene of Now or Never. One of my favorite lines in this movie is the scene immediately after the big game when they're at the trophy case, and Sharpay goes, "Hey Troy, when's the big game?" And then he's like, "Last night." And she's like, "Oh, good luck." And it's so stupid Sharpay energy, and it's hilarious because she doesn't give a fuck.
She said, the game ain't about me, so I don't need to know when it is.
Did you guys love her pink locker, her double-decker pink locker that she's got going on, Kaylin?
Didn't she have that all the other movies?
No, this one was like even
Yeah,
fancier.
Yeah, she had a bigger one because it was her senior year.
I didn't notice.
2 lockers in one.
I personally, as a kid, thought it was phenomenal, and as an adult, I was like, holy shit. How much money does your family give this school? Because that is literally so shitty of you to have 2 lockers.
Yeah. And then her little maid girl comes up and she's like, I'm
Indentured servitude, you mean?
Her little indentured servitude.
I definitely felt
But she's actually an undercover spy.
I definitely felt way worse about
She
that.
said, what's it called? Free apprenticeship. Hee.
Oh my gosh. And then we cut to them like celebrating the game before this, where they're like, at the fancy ass house that Troy's mom and dad have, which
After party game.
Is what the fuck does Troy's mom do for a living? Because I know his dad, who's a basketball coach at a high school, does not make that much money to have that.
Where the fuck did treehouse come from?
The treehouse is huge. The house itself is huge. They have a half-court basketball court in their backyard. Troy's mom must have a really good job.
Yeah.
Because we know the high school coach ain't making shit.
No, the high school coach is not making that much money. Especially because that's all he does. Ain't like he a teacher too.
And you see that bitch cooking too at night. Like
You sure he's not a teacher? He has his own office.
Still though, like on that kind of salary to have that nice of a house and court and all that stuff, like nah.
I know. Honestly, that'd be upsetting me when I was a kid because like I would always have like daydream like houses or tree houses or backyards and shit. And like they really be presenting it like, yeah, his dad's a teacher and we have a house like this.
Yeah, no. And then we get the first duo song of the movie, Right Here, Right Now.
I like that one.
Yeah, that one's super cute.
I like that Can We Have This Dance better, though.
Yeah.
Can I Have This Dance?
There's a scene later in the movie, which isn't in the soundtrack, so I completely forgot that it existed, where they're singing Right Here, Right Now again, but from their distance parts, in their houses. And I was like, I don't remember this part of the movie at all. I don't know if it's just been a while since I've watched the film.
I do remember that happening.
Huh?
I said I do remember that happening.
Yeah, and it was so weird because the song felt so much more emotional that part. I was like, whoa, I do not remember this song getting so sad. But it must have been because it was just a movie moment.
Mm-hmm.
After watching the 3 movies, like, I understand Miss Gabriella's commitment issues, but the amount of times that Troy is still showing up every time he's like, "No, I want you. I fucked up in the second movie. I still want you. You know, we're going far away in this third movie, but I still want you." Like, he literally never expressed doubt, really, ever. He was
When
always
I
like, "I
called
want."
Kaylin after this movie,
I was gonna
Gabrielle is
say.
stupid.
What?
I called her after the movie and I was like, I just finished the movie. And she's like, you know what? I won't talk too much about it. I'll save it for the podcast. But Gabriella's stupid. I was like,
No, I said, why is she so dumb?
yeah. I was like, yeah, you got a point, I guess. She do got some commitment issues, but it's a little extreme. So from there, you see that what's her face signs everyone up for the musical against their will. And I was like, why are y'all complaining? Let's act like y'all literally enjoyed yourself the first time doing the play.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like basketball season's over, ain't nothing else going on. You might as well just do the spring musicale.
Yeah.
And Sharpay, not happy. Sharpay thought she was getting her senior year to herself.
What a dumb bitch. This is high school.
I know, but that's been her thing for her whole life. You know?
She's trying to go to school for that, Kaylin.
Huh?
I'd be mad too.
She's trying
No,
to
what I'm saying is she wanted a solo musical of just her.
Yeah, that's what it's been like her last 3 years.
Well, realistically, what would happen in theater is they would do multiple productions because, like, you don't need a ton of, like, on-hands help for, like, a solo rehearsal thing. You might need just, like, the teacher, or maybe it's, like, a student director and that actress or whatever. But, like, there's usually always some sort of group thing going on that, like, everybody can, like, kind of even just be a tree in the background or a background character.
Yeah, but she went to be the star.
I know. I'm just saying it's not realistic.
She knew it wasn't going to happen if Troy and Gabriella were there because she already sees them stealing half of her identity the last year. But then we get the iconic number that's I Want It All, which is literally one of my favorite songs in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a Broadway song to me.
Yeah,
like I said, bigger like choreography budget for sure.
In this moment is when I realized that Ryan was actually my favorite character in the movie. He is the star of the show. He gave us a number.
I've always liked Ryan. I love his character.
Yeah,
like, I think arguably the best character in the entire like series.
Yeah, because like one, he's consistent. He doesn't do anything to like make you hate him, and all he does is just get better, and he just matures. And you're like, you're not problematic. You're just having fun, going on little dates with Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to hate him.
Exactly.
And also, he's canonly gay in the High School Musical, the musical series. So,
That
apparently, fun fact for you, Kaylin, he wanted to make his character gay in this film, but Disney wasn't approving it.
Really?
They had a whole like scene and script planned out for his character to be gay.
I don't know whether to be like happy or like also like that is a stereotype in itself.
Yeah. I think it's funny because they play this line of him and Kelsey like flirting and dating throughout the movie. So I think if they would have done it at the time, it would have felt kind of off.
I think they would have just gotten rid of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
happen because I don't think it's okay. I think it's a stereotype to say that every gay person is into theater, but I don't think it's a stereotype to cast somebody as a theater person in a movie who is gay. Like there's
I
a
think
different
that
context to those
for
two
Disney at the time, I would have taken it that way. I agree with you, but I think that they already do a lot of very tropey things, like the pink bimbo that is not smart and likes a lot of money and flashy things, and then like it's just like very.
Well, I think that comes down to the time that it was made then.
Yeah.
Let's say they would have made Ryan gay. Look at us more than 10 years later, we'd be like, okay, in this context, I don't think that's tropey because I don't think every gay person likes theater, but I think this is a great character who's gay who happens to like theater.
Yeah.
But back then, maybe making him gay would have been too,
that's why I'm saying I would have taken it that way. I would have taken it like, okay, thanks for giving us a gay character, but also Disney, I don't entirely trust your, view when your casting and your choices for stories seem to be very stereotypical a lot of times when you do cast a diversity.
Yeah, I mean, I think Disney was known for already doing stereotypical stuff, so I think it would have fit in like fine with like Disney Channel at least. But I can see it being a bit too much as well.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It just is a stereotype, and like Kinsey said, it's not a crime, and I think that in certain stories or shows, it's totally fine. It's just like, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or like how we talked about like Taylor's character, how like we don't mind that she is like an assertive person, but also does that fall into a stereotype as well, like the bossy black girl.
Yeah.
And it's just questioning it for like healthy reasons, obviously. Like, we're not saying that you can't have a character like it. They're not, it's gray areas in how you do it.
I mean, I think especially for now, if let's say High School Musical was made now and they made Ryan gay, I wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, every gay character is a theater kid. But I
Mm-hmm.
think at the time, especially being the 2010s, like, yeah, it could have been bad.
Um, so then we cut to Can I Have This Dance, which is a very magical
I like
scene.
that one.
This is when Troy is casually like, which suit jacket should I wear? And Gabriella's like, for what? And he's like, the prom. And he plays it off like this smooth little, like, asking her to the prom. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, also, I don't know how to dance. Like, what the fuck?
Can I say something that's very controversial, but it's what I did as a kid and I don't care?
Yes.
The entire scene, I tried looking up Gabriella's skirt because it was a very short dress. It was a very short dress, and she
How
also
old were you?
had like a low cut dress, and I was like, the whole scene.
They do a lot of twirls and throwing her up in the air,
I'm
so it's
just saying
valid.
that because I'm
Top three signs you
it's a
might know
safe
you're
place.
gay.
It's a safe place, and I just wanted to say it. And I was
It's
like,
valid.
the strappy heels
That's
too.
like-
I was like,
You know, Gabriella looked good in this movie.
she looked.
That's like
she
me
looked good.
watching Aquamarine trying to see behiund her mermaid hair. That was like, she's obviously not wearing a shirt, and I'm like, excuse me.
Excuse me. There's gotta be somebody had to mess up at some point.
Oh my God.
That was me. I was like, they couldn't have gotten all of it.
Yeah.
I'm like looking.
I'm like literally looking behind the TV.
Oh my gosh.
I just had to be honest because that's what Kid Kinsey was doing. It was funny.
Yeah, that scene is so cute. I love them dancing up on the roof. I also love when the song comes back around later. Like, obviously when I was a kid, I think I listened to the soundtrack first and I didn't realize that they were going to cut it like that. But I think they did such a good job with that. It felt very romantic.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got that cute little high school love.
This cute little high school love.
And every time I hear that song, I'm like pounding my chest. I'm like, no mountain too high enough. I get into it. I can't help it. It's so good. Because he's like, I'm crazy.
No, I get into the song, but that's not the way Mariah does, and that's okay.
That
Bro,
song,
you pull up the fucking How to Train Your Dragon main theme song, and I start sweating. So like,
something
I start
about
shaking.
Can I Have This Dance? I think that like it's just so cute. I love the way Zac Efron like speaks to her in it. I love I'll take the lead every breath. You know, I'm like, oh my god, the way he's speaking to her is literally like angelic, and that's all I ever wanted.
I see the
Zac
Zac
Efron was
Efron
really
hype
fun.
like as he gets into this one, because like I think seeing this more confident side, like, no, quit running away, you dumb self-sabotaging bitch.
Yeah.
I'm here. Like, I liked seeing
I
her
like
kind of grow up.
it. I like it because I have commitment issues, and you know
Bro,
what?
but that's what it was when he we'll fast forward and we'll come back. When he came and found her after she tried to run away, and he pulled up with this same fucking song saying like, "Take my hand, I'll take the lead this time. Like, I'll make sure you're okay when you fall." I was like, oh my god. It's something so, because you're right. She's always the one who was like the confident one in the relationship, making the moves and everything, and saying how she
And
felt.
he was the one, movie one, he was like, no, she's just a girl, guys, I'm focused on the game. And then she got
Yeah.
pissed at that, obviously. And then the second movie, she's like, I gotta go my own way. And he was like, wah.
Yeah,
Troy learned how to be dominant for this third movie. He finally it got through his head. He said, "My girl has commitment issues, and I really need to just like show up
Literally,
matter
every time
what.
he was like, "Why do you keep saying bye?" And it was because Gabriella was like, "Bro, I'm used to people leaving because I've had to leave because she had to move so much." She's like, "Nobody wants me," and he was like, "No, I'm here. I literally came to you this time." And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, before I have an emotional reaction to this film,
It's
the
good.
next one is when Chad realizes how important the prom is. Um, there was like a whole scene where he's like asking her to prom, and then they sing the "Night to Remember" song. It's so funny to me when the boys are like freaking out about what the fuck prom is, what the fuck do they have to wear, why do I look funny, and I was like, is this really how men viewed prom?
Well, when I watched it as a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, it's 11/11 on September 11th. I'm going to bust a nut." Anyways, like I just saw it on my
Oh my
computer.
god. I literally noticed that it was 11 p.m. on September 11th, and I was like, I wonder if one of us will catch 11/11.
I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh wow, that makes so much sense." That's men. When I watched it this time, I was like, kind of annoyed that the movie portrayed the girls as like completely excited about it, and we had these bum ass dusty motherfuckers not excited about it. Clearly, they changed their mind when they saw them in the dresses, but then that even upsets me more that like it took you having to see her dressed up nicely to be interested in going to a dance with her. Like, it's not about looking at your girl with that nice dress with her titties out. It's about like actually spending some intimate quality time with one another, dancing and stuff. And I know it's a kid movie, and I know they did that for a reason, but like that's not what I like. And I would want somebody to go to a dance with me because they just want to spend time with me.
Also, like, let's be
Yeah.
honest, the boys don't need to do that much. Why are you freaking out? Just go get your black fucking suit, get the color that matches my dress,
It's
and show
giving.
up.
My mom made my lunch every year until I graduated. Like, oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
I have to do something myself. I have to rent a suit. Oh my god, like
Well, I had to go find the perfect dress, do my hair, my makeup, and everything. All you had to do is put on the suit jacket.
exactly. So I was like, these people, these boys did not pass the test.
Gosh.
I was disappointed.
Yeah. And I love the cute scene in that song when it's Ryan and Kelsey walking down in their cute little outfits because they're all dolled up for once. It's like, love it. Also, Chad's suit jacket that has like his last name and his basketball number on it. It's so funny to me. I'm like, this man is obsessed.
That man is autistic.
He really is. When
About
he went to go
basketball.
ask her to the prom, and Troy was like, give me the ball. Give me the ball. And he was like, oh. And in that scene at the like the fake prom for A Night to Remember, he has the basketball still with him, and I'm pretty sure she like knocks it out of his hand.
So I want to know, do you guys think Troy or Chad's better at basketball?
I don't know. I didn't go to any games.
I think
No, just
no
hypothetically,
fault
like
to their
what
own.
you would guess.
No fault to their own. I think Troy is because he has a father that is the coach, and he probably makes him practice a lot more. I think that Chad's probably good. I think Troy might be technically like technical skills better.
We got some Kageyama versus Hinata shit.
Yeah, it's giving
Exactly.
like I think they both could be just as good as one another if Chad had just a little bit more help with his technical skill. Like if you think about it, Kageyama was better than Hinata, but Hinata had the passion and was working. Like I truly felt like even when they first met each other, that Hinata was as good as
Yes.
Kageyama. He just didn't know how to use it yet,
Yes.
and that's kind of like how I feel about Chad and Troy.
Yeah, Kageyama had like a coach. His grandpa was a coach, and he just had the technical ability because he was practicing longer. Like he knew the technique. But Hinata was definitely just better, and that's exactly what I think. I think Troy was forced to probably work on his technique more from his dad, where Chad was just good.
Yeah, but I feel like Chad totally has the potential to be better if he
Well, they
just had.
both got invited to UCLA, so they both are just as good.
Yeah,
But
you're
I
right.
think the little if you want to nitpick it, that's where I would probably imagine it.
Yeah, it's giving Kageyama and Hinata. Hinata. I always call him Hinata.
It's okay.
Um,
I literally wrote down when I was watching the movie, I was like, do you think in another universe Chad and Troy are lovers?
I actually felt like Chad and Ryan are lovers.
Well, you're right. I forgot.
Exactly. Thank you.
Forgot about that. You have a point.
Don't think
Nobody. Sorry. Nobody. This is off topic. Nobody laughed at my Google search yesterday.
I laughed at it. I said,
Okay.
laugh,
What's your Google search
react.
again?
Oh, okay. Is Ariana still with that rat?
Oh.
Looking motherfucker.
Kinsey was too busy freaking out about angel numbers.
Yeah.
First
Continue.
of all, if you were living my life, you would understand.
Listen,
Um,
I didn't come for you. I did.
so then we go to Just Want to Be With You, which, again, another amazing song. I'm sorry, this soundtrack is so fucking good. Another amazing song when they're singing Gabrielle and Troy, their little Just Want to Be With You moment on the little fake roof. I think it's so fucking cute, and I love it.
You really just put me into a state right now, Mariah,
Right?
of like wanting to be loved.
It comes in so good because Ryan is playing it with Kelsey. Like, I got a lot of things I have to do, and I'm like, please, please keep it going. And it's so perfect for like their little high school situation. Like whoever wrote these songs, top tier. Like the concept of them literally saying like there's so much change happening in life. Like I'm being pulled every which way. Like everything's happening all at once, but like I just want to be with you. That's all. As long as I'm with you, I'm happy. And I'm like, I love them. I'm so sorry, Kinsey.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for a high
Well,
school
they also
version.
talk about friends though. They literally say in the line, it's like a friend like you always makes it easy. Like us.
I keep thinking about that Hosier song where he said, I forget what it's called, it's on his new album, talking about how bad thing or like the bad doesn't happen when you're young. Like all, you know what I'm saying? Like you knew everything when you were young, kind of like
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's song. I listened to it like twice, so I don't remember what it's called or what it said, but like when I think of this scene in High School Musical of all these people, they're so excited for the future of their lives, and truly, there is so much in the future. I'm not saying high school is the best time of your life,
Yeah.
but I will say when I reflect back onto my Kinsey version, like kid self, I'm like, like there's a lot of things you were doing right back then that the real world tried beating out of you, and
Mm-hmm.
I want you to get back to those moments, like, and you learn them through your friends or through those relationships with those people, like Hosier literally said, "Bad does not happen when you're the bad things don't happen when you're young necessarily. You're learning a lot about the good things when you're young because you're being open to them, compared to when you're older and you're being like thrown around in the real world. Good things will happen though. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying like you gotta basically get back to
You
that
guys know I'm
state of
an
being.
emotional person. I feel like we shouldn't talk like this.
No, it's so true that like I'm so excited for my future in the present day right now, and I am doing so well, and I'm doing a lot of things that young Kinsey didn't. But like there is that like innocence and happiness that she had and like joy in the world that I'm trying to bring back into my adult version because I feel like for a while it was like ripped from me.
Yeah.
And
Also,
merging
I
the
think
two.
it's weird because I love the concept of the high school experience, but like you're also so young and people come from so many different backgrounds that it is like impossible for everybody to achieve even like basic stuff. I didn't bring up my prom once and I probably will not right now on this podcast because it was just such a disappointing experience. Like I looked forward to like the day I'd ever get a prom dress, got a hand me down, like so many things like with just the date itself went wrong and it was hard to like stay grateful then because it was nothing like what other people got to have or like when they would post their experiences. And college was a much better experience because it had a lot more to do with identity versus like trying to achieve something, that was romanticized. And I think like there's nothing wrong with having them. I think it's the financial aspects, like who could afford a class ring, who could afford a better prom dress, and like it's just like it's kind of like whose parents have money, like
Oh no, yeah, like I can look back at like there was a lot of things wrong with my high school version of myself as well as like the expectations that everybody was putting on themselves. That's not what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on like the parts of me that really were innately me because I was young and I didn't have professors or real world bills or anything like telling me what I could or could not do. And even some things through high school started to beat that out of me by the time I'd gotten to my senior year. And then
I'm gonna need
college.
to figure out which Hosier song that is, so I can cry about it later.
Hold on, let me pull up his album. I won't
I
read the song.
literally
I
told you
know the name of it. I
times
know the name of it. So just let me pull up the album really quick.
about how High School Mariah was such like an optimistic, like glass
Okay.
full, like positive person, and then like something just happened where I was like, I don't think I can ever get back to that like truly like happy version of Mariah. So like I'm literally
Yeah.
so upset that you're triggering me right now.
All right. The song's called Damage Gets Done.
Oh
So
my
he
god,
talks
no, I
about
already know. I already know. I've already cried too.
girl, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I think it's such a good song, and I think that when you brought up that song from the movie about like I just want to be here with you now, like those feelings back then, people are telling you like, well, this is gonna happen and this is gonna change, and you can't have these feelings that you want. And I know they're talking about in the romantic sense, but I also align that with like the personal sense. Like I just want to be who I am now, and I just want to love who I am now, and then that's this song Hosier talks about is like those feelings were real and they need to be upheld. Like they need
Yes.
that's not where the damage got done. That's where you were happy when you were with that person or when you were being the way you wanted to be. Now future events happen, sometimes that means you can't be with that person, or sometimes you didn't turn into the person you thought you would be, but you can still have the feelings of wanting to be the person you want to
I
become.
remember being in high school and like right before college, and my dad was like, "This is the best years of your life. It's never going to be as good as this." And I would be like, "I don't want that to be the case. I hated hearing that." And even like you guys all know, Val would tell me like, "Mariah, you peaked in high school," and I'd be like so upset when she would tell me that. I was like, "Do not say those words to me. Like, I don't want this to be like the best part of my life. Like, I have so much more to live." And I think that's why now I'm trying so hard to like enjoy the moments I have. Like us hanging out all in the little pool together. I'm like, I want these moments to be crystallized in my brain because I'm terrified of them all being right. That my best moments were those
No.
moments.
But
It's
like
never gonna
you
be.
gotta tell yourself too, because first of all, good job finding new friends. Second of all, you gotta tell yourself that that moment in the pool or those crystallized moments are already, and then like you won't have to worry about like oh them being right. They can't be right if that's like your truth. If your truth is those moments, are you
Yeah.
being your most authentic hot girl self, then that's the truth.
In the book that I'm reading right now, The Abundance Now, she talks about redefining abundance for you so that you can live in abundance right now. And like obviously we want this podcast to get famous, or like we want people to enjoy what we're talking about because we like talking about these things. But the reason why those people told you those things is because they have a different definition of abundance. Your father thought that being young and playing basketball was his definition of abundance. And obviously at his age he still hasn't learned that that's not what abundance is. Like when he played basketball at that age, there was something else that was bringing him abundance, and he labeled it incorrectly, and that's why he's still unhappy. And
Mhm.
like people our age right now think getting married and buying a house is abundance, when you'll get those things and they'll still feel like, why am I still not happy? And it's because that's not what their true abundance really is. And I feel like if you live in the current present moment, regardless of what other people think is wealth or prosperity, and you know that you are living your true abundance, then everything else that you want will come.
Yes.
I'm so happy that after all this time, I have no roast to other people because everybody's life's different. So I'm not trying to say I'm better. No, I'm saying like this is what I value. I'm very happy that I have not gotten married or just settled with somebody that I didn't like, or determined that I was going to stay in a town for years to come because I just want the steady income. Like, because I know that those things don't make me happy, even if they're stable on the outside.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I have necessarily everything I want right now, but that means I'm like really, I am living in the abundance of the things I do have.
Yeah. Um. Anyways,
Sorry, I know that was a deep point, but that I actually felt that way
We're
during that song.
all in
yeah.
this
Before I get
together.
more emotional, we cut to the boys are back when Chad and Troy are reflecting on their youth together because they've been friends for so long. And they're realizing, like, yeah, we're going to get back together because we're going to the same college and we're going to have a party and it's never going to end. I don't necessarily love this song. I think that it's a cute symbolic moment for them. What I do love is the part when they turn into children. And the way they act, that is how the three of us act when we are being stupid, like when Kinsey almost drowned in the wave pool at Kalahari.
Guys, I wish you guys saw this. I wish the viewers knew what was happening because I was laughing while I was drowning. I was laughing in the water. And Mariah had to literally drag me out with her long arms. She like positioned me in the sky and pulled me out. It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's how it feels.
I had to just jump out myself.
Whenever I see that scene from High School Musical, it just reminds me of like little moments, like that meme of the two guys laughing when they get kidnapped. Like that stuff is like, it's like those pure joy moments of us like feeling youthful again, like laughing like we were children. Like when I'm like, Kinsey's like my cousin who I've known my whole life when you're just living in my basement. I'm like, this is like hilarious.
And you
It
have a
reminds me
sleepover.
of little moments like that.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah, that seems good. I think I want to be able to look at my childhood and look back and say, yes, that was fun and I liked it, but I don't ever want to be the kind of person that's like, that's the last time I'll ever allow myself
Yeah.
to have that kind of fun. Obviously, my definition of fun is different now because I'm an adult, but that doesn't mean I can't have just as much fun as my kid self did,
Yeah.
if
Like you
not
said
more.
before, it's definitely crystallizing those moments. It's like the feeling we played Little Nightmares.
Oh my fucking god. That's literally like the definition. Like just like I'm not saying we can only get those feelings through video games, but like feeling so present and having so much fun. I didn't care about my retirement or my bills in that moment. I was having so much fun.
It took you
Yeah.
back to being a small child with your family playing video games. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, then we get Gabriella's next breakup song. We get one every movie. Kaylin, what was your opinion of this breakup
Movie.
song? Kaylin,
What?
I did not hear your question. I heard you say that we get one every movie.
what was your opinion of this breakup song?
I'll be honest, I don't remember it.
It's called Walk Away.
I don't remember the sound of it.
I'm gonna be honest. When I watched this film, I also didn't care about it, and I didn't remember it.
I just remember her leaving. I don't really remember this song as well.
No,
I don't remember the melody.
it, like for
Whoops.
me, like out of all three of them, I used to rank this one on the bottom. Rewatching it, I didn't hate it as much as I remembered hating it, because like it is kind of sad, and like I get it, but it's definitely my least favorite one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that I have a similar opinion. Then yeah, it was not memorable.
It was not memorable, no.
So, because she decides that she is going to this. I'm sorry, how does she get to leave high school early to start college early? Why couldn't she just start college in the summer? That's what didn't make sense to me.
I felt like that was a plot hole personally. Like they're in the middle of a spring semester. What are we doing? You just
Yeah.
had prom. You just had prom, which means you have to be somewhat close to graduating. So what was the point of her leaving unless their semesters start earlier, depending on what kind of crazy ass school they are? Like
Yeah, she could have just started in the summer. I was like, I don't understand this whole like starting school a semester in 3 weeks early.
I know literally a semester and 3 weeks early. It's weird because I know my little sister right now has enough credits to just graduate and not come back her senior year if she didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so potentially Gabriella could just literally leave right now, and there are options to like forego, what's it called, commencement or whatever the fuck. But I don't know. I don't see why 3 weeks would make a difference. I think she should spend time with her friends, and then maybe move in the summer. There's no way the school started though, unless she had summer classes in the summer.
That's
I gotta
part that
say,
makes sense.
there's something about like the way that high school is that just something needs to be tweaked with the way that kids are rushed through. Like literally children, and I think it's because around 18 a lot of people don't know what they're going to do with their lives. A lot of people don't choose to go to college and just want to start making money right away. They want to move out from their parents' house. Like a lot of people do want to get their lives started and going, but I also think that like I don't know, it's just like it's so stupid to see people, including myself, have to transfer or like hate what the major they started in, and it just seems like such a waste of not only time but like debt. It's kind of ridiculous that like students are rushed the way that they are, and I don't know what the answer of the solution should be, because I know like that answer of like giving like students like
I know
a
what the
better
answer
way to
is.
think or more time, just it doesn't make sense. Like maybe there is a program where it's like I mean I think that they do have basics programs, but like I know CIA doesn't take like any of those credits, so it was like useful to just take your basics.
The answer that I think, because I think I'm the smartest person ever. I'm kidding. This, from my own experience with college, is that no 18-year-old, I don't give a fuck who you are, knows what they want to do. Yeah, I knew I wanted to do art. Still didn't even know what I wanted to do in art. Okay, I think college is the perfect scam that we tell our youth, because when you're 18 and you're being told majority of the time by your parents that they want you to leave, they don't want to pay for you, and you have all these new world responsibilities, and you are in an literally emotional, fragile state where you just want to take care of yourself, and you look at the future of your life and you're like, oh my god, I don't want to work at McDonald's or any sort of retail store or whatever the fuck for the rest of my life. People have told you that if you are working at a place like Target or McDonald's or anything, that is your future, and that you're not actively doing anything for your future, so you should feel bad about it. Even if you're just thinking about it, apparently it's still not enough. But if you don't know who you are, How can you make the proper choice to go to a certain college, to take a certain, program, to do what it is that will actually make you happy, you know? And I don't think that that is any waste of time spending 5 years, 10 years sitting there working a job that maybe isn't amazing, but is letting you define who you are so that when you make those steps towards who you are, they are confident strides, even if it takes time, and it actually brings you to something you want. Because then you have an entire generation of people who went to college for something they didn't want to do, that doesn't make them happy, but they're attached to the salary that comes with it and the comfortability of maybe, owning a home in 30 years
I
because they're
think the
paying a
one thing
mortgage.
that doesn't work with that plan, which I think works for some people, I think it is people who come from unhealthy households who really just like need to get out the minute they turn 18 or graduate high school. And when you get started in the work world and you have car payments and insurance and all of this stuff like phone bill, rent, and like depending on if they have a roommate or not, like whatever it is, you can get really stuck in the money cycle once you start. So that's
Yeah,
hard to
but I'm
reverse and
I'm
get back to
saying
school
it.
later.
But wait, let me like retaliate. I'm saying this because in my abundance now book I'm reading from Lisa Nichols, she was literally on government assistance. She had a baby on the way. She had no car. She had all. The issue is when you are in that kind of position and it's that bad. She's like, I can't sit there and expect a car to just magically come out of nowhere. She's like, the truth is I was in a position where I needed to show up, and I don't think it's healthy. Okay, I'm not saying all this stuff like to glamorize it. Absolutely not. I don't agree with capitalism. I don't agree with, people getting more privileges than others and then their lives being harder because of it. But she was like, if I didn't want to get trapped in that money cycle, then I needed to make my life have smaller needs. Like, she literally ate beanies and weenies and pasta for like 2 years, you know? Now, that's not realistic. Don't glamorize it whatsoever. But she did what was required to get the future that she wanted because that was the position that she was brought into in this world. And I think that college is something that will only drag you down more, especially if you don't know who you are. Now if you want to like maybe give an extra option of like, okay, maybe you don't want to go to college because you don't get thousands of dollars in debt because you don't want to do something you don't know if you want to do. Well, then you can do a trade that makes more money than maybe McDonald's and takes not that long to get the trade in, and then you can spend a couple years, like 5 6 years, however long you need to, with your trade making a little bit more money, discovering who you want to be, but depending on how unprivileged you are will depend on what kind of road you want to like take based off of that.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think I think trades and like community colleges should be like more normalized, more pushed, and like maybe even free. I know certain states have like free community college. I think that like people need to be more aware of options like that. I think there should also be just like a general like college degree because there's so many jobs out there that you don't need a specific degree. They just want you to have a degree. I think
Yeah.
we need like a not like an undecided degree, but like a basic degree to be like, yeah, I went to this community college, I got advanced knowledge in certain subjects and that should be enough for you to get a better job. Like, why can't I just go take a couple classes in business, take a couple classes in like I don't know, like a medical class or two, and I should just have a degree that is good enough to get me a better job. So we go from Walk Away to Scream.
That's like the best song on the
It
thing.
is
It's
the
like the
best
best
song.
song.
First of all, Troy Bolton, my icon, he says, I'm so upset, I need to just go and scream. He walks into the locker room, and Kayla and I have talked about how Zac Efron is attractive in this movie. Obviously, he was looking little dinky the first film. Second film, he comes back with this like weird tan.
It's giving like I don't know my fashion style yet,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm testing the waters.
But senior year Zac Efron or senior year Troy Bolton knew what he was doing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love this song. I know it's one of Kenzie's favorites as well.
It's my favorite.
It's a good one to literally just put on out of frustration.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know where to go. Yeah. I wanted to mention I thought it was so funny that I need to scream. I'm gonna go to school. And like that's where he went. He went to the school. Like, do you feel
Well,
that
the
safe at the
school
school
has
that
like
you wanna like
it's the version of him. He's like, I've got my basketball version, I've got theater version, I've got me and Gabriella version. It all exists in this building. And he felt so lost and confused, and he was like, well, my identity belongs in this building as of right now.
mm-hmm.
I think it's very fitting where he was like, I just need to let it out and be and really figure out what the fuck I'm doing with my life, and this is where I exist, so this is the place to start.
I guess. I mean, personally, I'd go scream on top of a hill or something in the middle of nowhere. I actually screamed in my car a few days ago as I was driving home from
That's
work.
a good one.
I
That
was
like that's a good
scream.
place.
I've not screamed like that in a while, guys.
I
It
scream in
was
my
nice.
car often, or in the office at work.
Honestly, I
That's a
want to go
good
to a
one.
field with you guys and just scream our head off
Let's do
about
it.
certain things. Like get in a circle. We're all fine. We had a great day that day, and we're like, how about we just get out anything we've been frustrated about? We just scream it
I think
and
that's
cry.
a good idea. We should do that when you get out this way.
I think that's an amazing idea. Thank you.
I'd like to comment before the scream scene. It's like when him and Chad are at his house, and Gabriella calls and is like, "I don't think I can do it, Troy. I can't come and see you and say goodbye again." Um, he goes up to his room sad, and Chad's like eating food, and he comes up to Troy and he says something along the lines of, "Everyone knows you don't bring the girl with you after high school." I was like, "What a piece of shit!" but also, senior year Mariah was that person. I'd be like, not to that way he said it. It was just more like a, you're gonna go to
You're not
college and
wrong.
develop and grow into a new person. You don't want to attach yourself to a relationship if it's not healthy. There's no point. Like if you guys are already having problems when you guys see each other every single day, when you travel 8 hours away and you're in a different state with different people and you're discovering yourself, you're not going to be happy.
This
But
issue
the way it was a time and place.
No, you're totally right, Mariah. Absolutely.
for
And
me, I think giving advice to your friends is totally cool. I just feel like when somebody's in such a vulnerable place like
yes,
that, they have an easier time just taking anybody's advice, and then maybe they regretted what they did.
it was the time and place. I was like,
So,
he's crying in
like,
his bed right now.
Where was Mariah when I needed it? Because I wasted a damn year going to the wrong school, trying to be Troy, chasing after a relationship, and then left my ass the first month for the girl at his college, and then I was stuck at a school for a whole year. I could have had money, Kinsey. I could have money to graduate at the school I did, but I ran out because I went that one year, and then the new school didn't take my credits. But you know what? We're here. Life is life, and
Yeah.
where was that Mariah friend telling me, listen, he's always been a piece of shit. He's just nicer than your mom, and it's just a step away from abuse. Like who was there to tell me?
Damn. I mean, Chad spoke the truth, but maybe not right then and there. Maybe not while Zach was crying on
yeah,
his.
maybe not right then and there.
Like maybe like a week later he could have said that, but like he's upset because his girlfriend just said she's not coming back, and he didn't even get to say bye to her.
yeah.
So, and doesn't help that Chad also didn't know that Troy was also juggling, that he didn't know what school he wanted to go to, but he knew he didn't want to go to the one he already said he was going to.
So like, does he plan to just drop Taylor? Like shit.
What?
Sometimes I always wonder if Chad is like, he's not always the best friend in the several movies. Like sometimes he says shit to him that I'm like, okay, that was really out of pocket. You shouldn't have
Your
said
kid,
that.
you imagine that like maybe he was a bit better of a friend, but
Yeah.
like, and I think they're obviously besties, but he be causing issues like from movie to movie sometimes.
Honestly, from each movie, like every time the conflict is he likes this thing and Chad's like no.
And also,
Stay
most of the time,
satisfied.
Chad will tell him to do something in more of his own interest. Like,
Yeah.
like Chad will be like, "I want to have Troy to myself, so I'm gonna tell him to like do this."
He's like, in the first movie, he was like, "You're playing basketball, not a musical. That's not you. That's not you. We've always played basketball." And in the second movie, he's like, "Hey, homeboy." Well, Troy was a piece of shit in the second movie, but he's like, "Why aren't you looking out for me? You know, we were supposed to have fun this summer." And in this movie, he's like, "We're going to UCLA anyway. You don't have time for a girlfriend."
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, Chad was not
a
the
little toxic. So then after Scream, we get the musical. Well, in between this time, Troy drives 3,000 miles to Gabriella to enjoy prom with her. I talked to Kaylin and how I said, I'd be about a piece of shit. I'd be upset if the girl didn't come back to my prom. I'd be so mad. I'd be like, you want me to drive to you and have this little prom? But also,
Well, she wasn't expecting it.
Huh?
She wasn't expecting him to drive out to her.
I know, but I think it's different for like a girl who's like, it's prom night, like I need to go have fun with all my friends, versus like Troy who's like, I don't care about prom night, I care about being with you.
That was cute.
I think that that's the difference. I think if I went to prom and my boyfriend was like, I'm going to college, I won't be at your prom night, I would still go to prom with my friends. But I think it's because when we're in high school, prom is pitched as this like wonderful night for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is just a bunch of people grinding in a circle, and I got hit by a water pitcher.
Oh my gosh.
But I think
Yeah.
what's crazy is because, like Kinsey said, a lot of fragile minds. It's like everybody wants to have the best experience ever because high school is romanticized, but
Yeah.
like it's so the odds are already stacked against you, girl. Literally, just be a nerd, go home, watch anime, do your homework, and focus on like college. Like, and when you go to class and somebody's being stupid, just like ignore it. Like, literally.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like obviously I'm like I guess it's okay that Troy went there, but I feel like I would not have. I would have been at prom. Um,
Um,
and then we get the musical, which is a hilarious little mashup of all the songs that they already performed. And also we get to experience who I forgot to mention at the beginning of the movie, Rocket Man.
I was gonna say Rocket Man. Whose phone?
Did you like Rocket Man, Kaylin?
He was pretty funny.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn it off. I'm gonna need someone to show me how to turn it off my phone, off my computer one day. Um,
Bing!
I think Rocket Man's hilarious. I also thought it was so funny they just randomly decided to introduce this new character.
Well, it makes sense. It's the next year, you know? The new people come. Girl, that's how I felt at fucking 1, CIA, 2, high school. Like, literally, it was like us, and we're like, oh my god, all of the seniors. And like, I remember all the seniors, like, these fucking, like, mythical Greek beings. Like, you're looking up to them, like, whoa. And like, different majors. And then sophomore year, there's like, they still kind of linger around, or like the juniors will become seniors, like, okay, cool. And then like there's the freshmen. You get to junior, senior year, you look back and you're like, who is this body of people? Holy shit. Like,
And
I
I
don't
don't
know
like
fucking
it.
anybody.
I never have liked it. Like when I was in high school and you're junior and senior, I'm like, who are you? And when I was a freshman, sophomore, I was like, I know you though. I know you though because you're an
Yeah.
upperclassman. Same thing happened in college. My senior year, both of them, specifically the second one though, I was like, who are you guys? Who are all of you? I didn't know they kept going. Why do they keep making children? Like, I was like, oh my god. You know.
Oh my god.
Gosh. Yeah, I thought Rocket Man was so funny. I loved the part when he seizes on Sharpay. I think it's hilarious. I think it's so ironic of Sharpay to be like, finally, my time to shine with Troy. I get this scene, this moment. And then
And then it's Rocket Man.
busting out. And she's like,
That was pretty funny.
excuse me?
Nobody asked about the name of my name on the recording studio this week.
No one asked about anyone's.
So you guys know what this is from?
No.
Okay.
What's it from?
It's when the understudy of Sharpay says to Rocket Man when he asks for her to go out to lunch together, and she says, "I wouldn't eat you if you were the last pickle at the picnic."
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Personally, Scream is the only thing that goes on in my head whenever I think about this movie.
What did you say?
I said Scream is the only thing that goes on through my head whenever I randomly think about this movie because my internalized rage.
Oh
So
my gosh. So then we get the little senior night moment after the play where they announce where everyone's going to college, and homeboy gets like the one guy's like, "Hey, you did it! You passed your classes, congrats!" And then they announce where everyone's going, and then they go, "Someone has a decision to make," and Troy's like, "Actually, I chose both." Basketball and music, and that was the moment that everyone was waiting for since the beginning of the movie, where you didn't know what Troy was picking for college.
I love how he just said both.
Yeah, I decided to pick both, and we're like, and the risk of him going to Juilliard was so funny to me. I was like, is this man really going to go to Juilliard? Like, is he that good? And then that was the moment when Chad was gone, and I was like, he's dead. I'm not kidding. Like, trigger warning, young Mariah thought that Chad killed himself.
Imagine Disney.
I thought they were going to walk into the basketball court, and he was going to be...
What do you mean?
Well,
Like dead
why?
in the because you know if he killed himself it'd be in the basketball court. He said, if I'm gonna die with my one true love.
I just thought that after this movie that he was having a very hard time with the change of high school and college, and then when he found out that Troy wasn't going to the college that he said he was going to, I thought he was down for the count.
Girl.
I was
That's funny.
scared. And then they have that cute moment where Troy's like, "Hey man, like I know I'm going to a different college, but like it's still basketball for life. Like I'm still gonna play, and when I face UCLA, we're gonna kick your ass. So don't you worry." It was so cute. And I was like, "Oh, look at them still being pals." It made my heart happy to know that he was like, "It's okay. We're still gonna play, and I'm still gonna give you a run for your money, and basketball's still gonna be a part of our lives."
Yeah.
And I just imagine those moments when they go against each other throughout the 4 years, how happy they are. Because like I remember when I would do sports and I'd run into people that I was friends with when I was in college, and it was just such a good moment to be like, "Hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in so long. Like, but I'm gonna kick your ass today. Good luck." It was a cute moment. And at this point in the movie, when they are all sat on stage, is when I immediately start to get emotional. I've told Kinsey and Kim before, I think the reason why I get emotional during movies like this is because I love the sense of community that they portray. It's something about the close knit of them being all friends. And also,
Really, why you like the outsiders?
the people in this movie were also just like actually friends in real life. And I know after 5, 6 years of them making these movies, they just got really close. And it's really sad that it's ending for them. Like, that's a life experience. They're all 17-year-olds, like having a unison experience
Except for
together.
Taylor.
Except for Taylor, who was 20.
No, I thought she was 25, dude. She was 25.
She was 25 by the end of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, regardless, all 7 of these people, or all 6 of these people, are having a very like. This is a big deal for them. Like, that's going to be a part of their lives forever. And like, I put myself in their shoes when I watch this movie. I'm like, this is so sad for them.
That's so funny you say that because when I was a kid, I did the exact same thing. And to think that my kid self could empathize with the actors themselves and how close they'd be on the movie, like outside of the, the fictional world of High School Musical, like I was like, oh my God, I'd be crying right now if I spent that much time making movies with these same people.
And when the movie
It's like the Harry Potter crew.
after the graduation, which I start crying during the graduation. But when it ends and the curtain falls and it shows the 6 actors all standing there, just like acknowledging, I'm gonna cry. That moment at the end of the movie when the 6 of them are just standing there and they're not even saying anything, they're just like smiling, but you could see the tears forming in some of their eyes. I start like sobbing at that moment. I'm like, I know this is so emotional for them.
And I know they're like recording it as they do that scene, but like they're also recording like the last.
Yes.
Like they're like
It's still
like it's simultaneously like a live action reward ceremony, and it's being recorded for the movie. Like I think they took that last scene, like well, it wasn't the last one, but you know what I'm saying. I think they took it very seriously, as if they were having their award ceremony for like.
Also, ceremonies
No,
are just
the
emotional
very
in
last
general.
scene after the graduation, it is that. It's like I'm assuming they recorded it last. It is the last scene of the movie where they are no longer in High School Musical universe. It is just the 6 of them standing in front of a red curtain, and they do their little jump and they screen crap it, and then they stand there and they're just standing there smiling. It makes me, because I think that's what it was. They deliberately probably filmed that part last as a closing call for the big 6 actors, and it is so emotional to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can really just resonate with that feeling. When I was in high school and I graduated, it was a weird feeling for me. When I graduated high school, it was very sad because I loved cheer and I didn't know what to look forward to. When I graduated college, I had a much better graduation where I felt like I'd really accomplished something I really wanted,
Yes.
and it was very emotional, and I was very sad, but happy at the same time. I feel like I can more so resonate with how they ended their high school career with how I ended my college one.
Yes, when I graduated high school, I was like waiting for the emotions. I was like, that's it.
Yeah, I was like, that's it.
With
Well, you also graduated during what's it called?
no, I'm talking about high school.
Oh,
When I graduated high school,
when you said that's it, I was like, well, no shit, you graduated during COVID. That's
I
probably
went to
how
a
I would
really
have felt.
small high school, and I knew every single person in that building since kindergarten. Like, if you asked me a random person my yearbook, I could tell you their whole life story. So I thought when I graduated high school, it was going to be an emotional experience for me.
I
When
thought
I
so
graduated,
too.
and I was like, that's it. Fuck this place. Bye.
It was underwhelming.
Yeah.
I was sad because I'm autistic and I don't like when patterns change
Yeah.
or routines change. So I was actually more upset about like what am I gonna do and what's college gonna be like, and I want to like I cried the first 3 days of college. I begged my dad to take me out of school because I was that scared. Kaylin, remember the whole weekend? Like we had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before we started classes on Monday. And I was like, I can't do this shit. Like, this is crazy. But when I graduated high school, I was just like, I feel sad because I don't even know what's going to happen in my life, but it felt so underwhelming. I was like, I don't know why this even mattered.
Yeah.
But I think I just really resonate because, like, you're right. The ending and the big change is always, like, an emotional part. So whenever I watch in this movie, I'm like, that is so sad. Like, they had to say bye to their friends, and they have to move on. and I think
I'm
that's
very
why it's
sad that Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens did not work out because my childhood self really wanted them to, and I thought they were so cute with one another.
Did they really date at all?
They did date in real life, and he really did her dirty. So
Yeah, I
What
think
happened?
during the second movie and half the third movie, they were like actually dating in real life.
Tell me what happened.
she won't even meet up for a high school
Reunion.
reunion if Zac Efron is there.
I want to know.
And I'm
Please.
like, okay, respect. Yeah, he must have done something
If
to the
y'all don't tell
girl.
me right now, I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, we don't know. I don't know like the exact details of it.
I
Really?
know, but all like I remember when they did the High School Musical reunion, everybody was so like it was like the it tea, kind of like how Ariana Grande is with that rap right now. Like it was the it tea that she would not show up on the reunion if he was there.
Yeah.
But you said he did her dirty, so I'm confused
Oh
on
well,
what
because
was
she's the
dirty.
one who's the most vocal about it. Like she literally will say she won't be there if Zach's there, so we're assuming he's the one who's in the wrong.
Yeah, he must have
Oh,
done
it's an
something.
assumption. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay,
Um,
but
also something also sad is when Vanessa Hutchins uh stopped dating Austin Butler, but he's actually a horrible person.
yep. But yeah, so that concludes the High School Musical trilogy. It is an emotional film for me every time I watch it. I think I will never not cry to that movie. Um, I think they do a good job at really portraying the emotions correctly. Like I said, like the concept of moving on and how it is a bittersweet moment. Like
Hmm.
even now, every once in a while we'll talk about how like one day I might move to a different state and Kaylin will have a family and not have time to see me, and that's
So
just life. But it doesn't mean that it's sad,
I'm still looking it up.
you know. Um. So, Kinsey, would you share this movie with someone else? Would you share the whole trilogy with someone else?
Um, I would only share it with my close friends because like I feel like I have a very select taste of what who I deem my very close friends or best friends. And if they are my close friends, that means we probably have the exact same humor or a very similar childhood. Like I know
Yeah.
Kaylin didn't experience this, but you and I know, Mariah, that if had she experienced this, she would have loved this when she was young.
Yes.
Especially with, Ashley Tisdale playing Sharpay. So I
Mm-hmm.
would share this again for just nostalgia memories and the soundtracks are so good. Honestly, I would just share it just to listen to the soundtracks with somebody and sing it with them, you know?
Only finding
Yeah.
dead ends, people.
Kaylin, would you share the trilogy with someone else?
Probably, unfortunately, not. I think it's something just shared with the close friends or them shared it with me. I don't see myself really watching them again.
Kaylin, I also have another question specifically for you because you made a comment during the High School Musical 2 recording. Did you feel like Sharpay got the story and the justice that she deserved in this film?
I kind of like that she was like a little bit just like out of Troy's pants for a second. And when you say justice, you mean just like she's just her own character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just did her own thing. Like honestly, the only thing she really added to the plot was telling Troy that Gabrielle was like, or Gabriella, whichever one, was going to that program before Gabriella had the chance to. And like she still is just kind of like an all about me character, but I like that she was a lot less like home wrecky.
How did you feel about the fact that she didn't get into Juilliard and she decided to just come back and work in the drama department?
It's giving what's it called? Those seniors who peaked in high school and can't fucking move on with life, so they come back and bother their teachers.
I'm very upset to see that actually, though, because I feel like she really had a stage presence to her and that she should have just tried somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. She could have went to any other college.
yeah, that's kind of stupid.
It feels like she's just like basically the replacement for the theater teacher for whenever she dies. Like, I feel like she just went into that girl's
I agree.
shoe.
But it's so stupid because like as fucking like over the top as she has been like the entire trilogy, it's like you look at her character like she has nothing but like going up, like literally like the bop to the top vibe,
I feel
and
like
like
they did that to her on purpose.
bop to the top to fall back down to like ladder step one just to stay in high school. Really?
Yeah, I feel like the producers or whatever really hated her, and they just were like, "Nah, we won't let her succeed in any way." It is 111 on the clock.
It is. And then Kaylin.
Yes.
What are you sharing with us next week?
Oh my god. I am sharing Tomotron as a girl.
Ooh, ooh. Exciting.
I'm so excited. I've already watched it, and it's phenomenal.
I know. Colin literally, like, kicked his feet like a girl. And, like, I wasn't sure how to feel after the first episode because I was like, is this going to be, like, gender bad in a tropey way? But it ended up being so stinking cute. And honestly, I felt like a lot of the characters related to me. I see a lot of our friend group in it, and it was just, like, really endearing. Give me skate vibes a bit, and I'm excited to talk about it. I honestly should probably just watch it again because I loved it that much.
How exciting. I cannot wait. Well, talk to you guys next week.
Bye.